Here with the Rainier Avenue Radio Traffic Update. You can listen to us in your car 24/7 anytime by downloading the free TuneIn app. Once you do, search Rainier Avenue Radio. And remember, do not curse out your fellow drivers. This has been your Rainier Avenue Radio Traffic Update.
Struggling to pay your mortgage? If COVID-19 hurt your family's health, you may be eligible for homeowner assistance funds from the government. Call 1-877-894-4663 now or visit washingtonhaf.org. That's washingtonhaf.org. Because getting sick does not have to mean losing your home.
What's on your heart? Are you exhausted at the lack of progress for people of color in business, politics, and life? This is Cindy Bright, the host of Heartbeat Radio. Each week we explore this heart condition of the country that is affecting you and me. We have real conversations about what's necessary for change. It's time to change this dialogue. Will you join this Heartbeat weekly, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. on Rainier Avenue Radio?
Rainier Avenue Radio presents All Music, All Day Saturday. Music, all day Saturday.
This is Edwin Bailey, Bulldog Blue.
Jazz from the Cabinets.
That's right. It's time once again for Jazz from the Cabinets with Big Poppy.
Start Time.
Thanks for tuning in. My name is Paul Pierce. This is Start Time.
Saturdays, all music, all day. Reggae Hour, K-Fox Night.
Looking for the perfect beat? Yeah, it's the beat of the Fox.
Fresh Juice, D-Money and
Myself to the running.
Honey Size Patron.
Taylor Hart.
Resistencia, Northwest Rap Gang.
DJ Medina. Chad Cheddar. Northwest Rap Game.
Sergio Lacour's Love Line.
It's Sergio's Love Lines with Sergio LaCour. Going to the phone line. Tell them who we talking.
Sea Monster Radio, Mo Jams is your jam.
We're live. Welcome to Mo Jam Mondays. This is KZ of KZ Music Media. Caller Goddess for Mo Jam Mondays.
Just my opinion. God is inspiration all day and all night. Saturdays on Rainier Avenue Radio.
The Earshot Jazz Festival kicks off October 8th and spreads out over 10 Seattle stages through November 6th with concerts all around the city. All concerts live and in person, and many of them streamed directly to your home. Tickets and information available up online. Earshot.org. It's the Earshot Jazz Festival 2022. See you soon.
Rainier Avenue Radio.world is your 24/7 digital media hub. Tune in at Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and TuneIn apps.
Welcome to Real Estate and Money, a half-hour program on Rainier Avenue Radio.world designed to help you whether you're a buyer, seller, investor, or renter in real estate. Your hosts are two local professionals who will escort you on your journey. Violeta Strash, who has years of media advertising and marketing experience and brings this extensive knowledge to John L. Scott Real Estate and all our clients. And Tina Lombard, who is a mortgage loan originator with guaranteed rate affinity with over 28 years of experience. And now here's Violeta and Tina.
Hello, everyone.
How is everybody today?
I'm doing good. You know what? It's blustery out there. Leaves are falling down. I see outside my window.
Yes.
Fall.
Yes. Fall has entered the room.
Yeah, and we had some much needed rain to get rid of all that smoke that we've had from various fires.
Yes.
Oh, it was bad. Yes. I don't know about there.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot of fires this year, thank God. We had a big fire last year in Boulder, but so we've been blessed with weather. But it has been rainy. This is one of the rainiest seasons we've had in Colorado in many, many years. I mean, it rained almost every afternoon. It'd be like 100 degrees in the morning, and then it'd be raining in the afternoon. So that kind of kept us arm's length. But yeah, we're the leaves are falling. I have been raking up my maple leaves for the last 2 weeks. And so it's still hot in the afternoon, but in the nighttime it's been going below freezing. So
that's cold.
Winter is coming around the corner.
Yes. And what do we have in the background there, Tina?
This is my house. This is actually my house. It's not a filter.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I got piano. I've got all types of different things going on. I've got my living room, my Filipino plants, my guitars.
Oh.
So
Yeah, talking about Filipino plants. Look what Daniel has put on the background for us today.
Oh, okay. Yes, yes. A Philippine
Because
flag. Yes, indeed. And of
we're
course,
going to be
everyone.
talking about Philippine Heritage Month, right?
Philippine Heritage Month. Yes, yes, indeed. So we're very excited. I know we missed most of October, so thank you for hanging on and waiting for us to come back. But it's never too late, to celebrate Philippine Heritage Month. We're going to talk to you a little bit about that, and so stay tuned. And also, we're going to go ahead and get to some market updates since we've been gone.
All right. Yes, personal issues here, but I'm back. We're looking at King County again. For active listings out there, 1,082 homes, 1,138 homes sold, an average price of $1,117,000 versus 1,144 or 1,145 last year. And that's 97% of last year. So we're seeing a little bit of a dip here. In September, days on the market in King County, 14 days, pretty even, 13 this year in September. Percent to the list price, 5.8% higher last year. This year, same, 5.8. Then we look at, for sellers, the number of showings per listing, 19 homes last September. This September, 15 homes. So it's a difference of 4 showings. And then I should have said showings instead of homes. And then the average showings to the time you go pending is 28 days last year. Showings, I should say, versus 22 showings this year. In Pierce County, we have 594 active homes out there. 666 homes have been sold. And this is for the month of October, since we've missed the month. And with the average price of $499,000 in Pierce County versus a 98% difference of $607,000 this past year. And then for days on the market, 14 days versus 16 days. So I'd say it's pretty even. The percent to the list price last year was 4.1% higher. This year it's only 2.5% over the list price. Showings per listing, 13 showings last year, 9 showings this year. So there's a 4-day difference there. And then the average showings to pending, 19 showings last year, and this September we had 15 showings, so a difference of 4 showings. For Snohomish County, active this past month, 463 active homes, and then 549 homes were sold, an average price of $797,000. Last year it was $829,000. So 96% of last year, things are kind of taking a dip here. And then September days on the market in Snohomish County, 12 versus 14 this year. It's taking a little bit longer, not much, pretty even. Percent to list price, 5.4% higher last year, and this year 4.5% higher. So that's a difference of under 1%. And then showings per listing, 18 showings last September versus 13 showings per listing this year. And then average showing to pending, sellers were looking at 24 last year, and then less by 5 showings at 19 this September. So there you have it. I know what to say. Things are changing in the market, and Tina will give you more on the mortgage side. So people that need homes, want to sell their homes, it's still a good time. You can refinance what you've purchased this year soon.
Right. So, it's something else. I'm not going to show you the mortgage rates right now because, it's really no sense. Right. The interest rates right now, they're pretty high. We have not experienced interest rates this high since the year 2009. Mortgage applications are at an all-time low. And one of the reasons being is, there's a lot of refinances out there that cannot be made because most of people's rates in this day and age are lower than what the current rates are allowing. So very, very rarely are we getting a refinance option. And when people want cash out for refinance, they're finding that the cash out option is going to pull or unlock their interest rate of maybe 3 or 4% to go to the current rate of 7, maybe 7.5%. So right now, mortgage rates are extremely low. Right now, a lot of mortgage loan officers are struggling just to keep prevalence of whether they should be working in this industry or not. So as far as the interest rates are concerned, the interest rates are still very, very high. And what we're trying to do now is trying to have people focus off of that. What we're finding out is the prices of homes are actually coming down. We're finding out that inventory is sitting on the market just a little bit longer, so sellers are able to give more concessions and are more willing to pay to buy the interest rate down or to do a 2-1 buy down or for whatever it would make to make the transaction go through smoothly or to get that offer. So we're seeing a shift in the reality of things. Now, as far as mortgage rates are concerned, whether they are 6%, 7%, or 8%, and a lot of theorists are saying they're going to go up to 8% soon, is that people still need to move. People still need to move because of for jobs, or maybe somebody is moving out of the house, or you're planning to have another addition to your family. So regardless of interest rates, people are still buying. It's kind of almost like gas and food. Even though the prices have gone up, you still have to buy your food. You have to still drive your gas. You still have to drive in your car. So what we're letting people know now is forget about the rates. Buy whatever you can right now, because inventory and the prices of homes are starting to react to the higher interest rates and the slower pace of demand. So, even if the rates are a little bit higher, you could probably still buy a house that used to be higher back then, and now those home prices are starting to go back down. So, I don't know if you've seen the prices of houses in Federal Way, in Seattle and Snohomish, like you're saying, the prices are starting to go back down. I mean, there's houses priced $450,000 range or $500,000, whereas 6 or 7 months ago that was completely unheard of. So, the interest.
Yeah, not a lot of multiple offers out there. And like you were saying, concessions from sellers to help with the closing costs and stuff like that. And there's a number of things that your mortgage officer can help you with as far as what you can work with the numbers. HOA,
It's something, because if you have an interest rate, or if you're looking at a loan, not a purchase amount, but if you're looking at a loan, it would say $300,000 or $400,000, whether the rate is 5% or 7%, is maybe a $200 difference, maybe $300 difference. Okay, if you're in the $800,000 or $1 million range, of course, the difference in payments between 5% and 7% are going to be a lot less. I mean, it's a lot higher. But even though the rate is higher, the payments on those loans are not that much higher. It's still obtainable. But the biggest gain is the fact that inventory is starting to react, and now you can get better prices on houses with less people to compete with. You're actually still getting a break because those prices are coming down. So even though the interest rate is higher, there are some people out there who are scared, or they don't want to make a move because the interest rates are in the 7s or in the 8s, and they're just fear-stricken and they don't want to buy. Well, good, they're out of the market. Fine, don't compete on my house. That's just more houses for you to look at. So while other people are scared and they're fearing, and they're just fearing their doomsday, the sky is falling, let them go ahead and do that. You make that offer on the house. Because when things start turning again and people start realizing these rates are okay and people get used to the idea, you're going to be seeing it in a house that you got in at a lot cheaper with a lot less hassle and a lot sooner. So don't worry about the rates right now. If I were to throw some rates up there, lenders are all over the board right now. A lot of lenders are laying off their processing centers, and that is nationwide. And it's hitting an international globe. There are a lot of things going on in the market. Now, for industry people, it's kind of a tough road. But for people, the client, it's a very good road for you. It's a very good road because this is the time where we do want your business. People do want your business. We're getting a good price on homes. The interest rates will come back around. You can always refinance later should the interest rates get lower. But go find your house. It's a win-win situation for clients right now. So please don't let us deter you. Let us encourage you to go out there and buy.
Yeah, and remember, Christmas is a couple months away. You can get into your dream home before the holidays, before Christmas.
Yes, you can. And as a big tip, V, is I find a lot of my clients here in Colorado, whenever it snows like crazy, when there's like 2 or 3 inches of snow or maybe 6 inches of snow, that's the time you go out and start looking for homes. When people are like Halloween, they're running around, or New Year's Eve, or Thanksgiving, they're running around shopping. You go out there and make offers on homes because there's nobody else out there to compete with. And sellers are like, okay, whatever, just take it. So
they're hunkered down, don't want to go anywhere. Or the husbands, you know what? The husbands want to, What?
Yeah, the sellers want to get out before December 31st for tax reasons.
Yes.
So while everybody out there was singing, deck the halls with, whatever they're out there gift shopping and stuff, you go in there and make some hard offers and do some negotiating, and you'd be surprised how the lenders are more willing to bend and be flexible this time of the year.
And then agents, bring your laptop to your open house, because chances are those husbands that are being dragged by the wives to go to open houses during a game, they'll want to stop and talk to you because they actually want to watch the game on your laptop. So there are those motivated buyers that will go out during a big game. There you have it.
Strong words of advice. Yes.
So what's our time, Tina?
Okay. Yeah. So are we ready for break now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Tune in to Real Estate and Money every Tuesday afternoon from 2:30 to 3 here on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Join your hosts Violeta Strash with John L. Scott Kent North and Tina Lombard with Guaranteed Rate Affinity. They'll help you navigate the waters of our volatile real estate market and offer you some guidance on how to make your hard-earned money work to make your dreams come true. Learn about current trends, get tips on financial matters, and have fun, interactive discussions about your home inside and out. That's Real Estate and Money.
Okay.
Great.
Where did you go? Oh, there you are.
Yes. So what do we got behind us now? Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
I thought I saw some
Philippine flag. Yes.
Great. So go ahead and start. Let's tell everybody we're celebrating Philippine Heritage Month here in the United States, and it's a time for us to reflect. It's a time for the rest of the country to share in our celebrations, share in our heritage, and what contributions we have added to the United States as a culture, as a country, and just all around into the community. So V, what do you got for us?
Well, I had Daniel. I sent him. Oh, there's some historical information, and Tina, can you read that for me, please? I just can't see that right now.
Okay. I'm right there with you, V. We can invent some invisible reading glasses. We'll be all right. Okay. Yeah. So historically, the Filipinos have actually entered into the United States or on this continent, and here is recorded at least in 1542 we came here, and we actually, here is another timeline here, 1898. Spain actually, what does it say here? I can't read that either. But anyways, we have been here as a historic. If you can read that on your screen, that'd be great. Me and V are kind of at a loss here, but we have been in this country since 1542, and we came over when the Spaniards came, and they actually settled here in the continental U.S. And at that time, it was actually San Diego when they first hit the United States continent, or the continent of North America. We were actually in San Diego. We actually were along the peninsula of Mexico. And so, during that time, not only did we set up residence here, it is also known that we actually helped the priests and the monks go and name Los Angeles, San Francisco, Sacramento. We were along there with them as they named certain territories and certain churches and facilities underneath the Catholic Church. So we were right there with them alongside. And also, there are a lot of commerce that happened between Spain, the Philippines, and the United States. And there were a lot of noblemen who lived in the Philippines and lived in Mexico that went back and forth. I even heard a statistic that 93% of Hispanic males have some drop of Filipino blood in them to this day. Have you heard that?
So many countries invaded the Philippines, right? That we adopted and adapted to a lot of their cultures and their language and their ways and traditions. So the Philippines, just an amazing place with all the different islands that you can hide out at.
Yes, yes.
But just the various peoples that have come in and out of the Philippines to rule the country has carved the way we are.
Right. And it's something because, you know, the Philippines is such a beautiful spot in Asia, you know, we're right there by China and Japan and so on and so forth. So, yeah. So we've, you know, there is a lot of strategic reasons why the United States was always involved in the Philippines, you know, during the Spanish-American War or what have you, you know, a lot of things that went on in the Philippines also affected here in the United States. And then, of course, we came to the United States as cannery workers, agriculture. We did a lot of planting and raising of crops and so forth in Alaska and in Washington State and in California. And that's some of the contributions. But what was really hard was that we had to come across the ocean to get here, either by ship or by plane. And so that's when immigration became kind of an issue. But where we were settled in the United States, we have flourished and we have developed communities such as in Seattle.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, do you have slides, Tina, or no?
No, you go ahead. Do you have some slides there, Sasa?
Oh, I have a number of slides.
Okay.
Different things. And just chime in when you got something. Here's the traditional dress during the Philippine Heritage Month. There's a lot of celebrations going on. And you see the very intricate designs on both the men's barong, they're called, shirts, and the women's dress with the butterfly sleeves. So you have one of those, Tina?
Maria Clara. Oh, yes. Maria Clara. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Just amazing, beautiful handwork that you see in the dress, the fashion for traditional events, right?
Yes.
The next slide. Oh, and what happens? There's always a parade somewhere.
Yes.
That, you know, anywhere around the world where the Filipinos gather and huge communities. So start out with a parade, probably.
Yeah.
Next, Daniel. And then we get, of course, into the food. The traditional pancit, the noodles, sign of success and longevity, most of all. So, yep, the Filipinos have been around for a long time, and they'll continue to eat until they are done. And then here, what do you think that is? Pork adobo.
It's like pork, some type of grilled pork. You have mango.
Adobo, the adobo, and the mango is the fruit of the Philippines. Yep, that the marinated pork or chicken meats can be grilled or oven roasted. It's or braised. It's so good over rice. Everything over rice, and then our friend. The lechon, the roast pig. And, you know, I was at a gathering and I never saw so many people running to the table because they fought over the tail. The tail of all things. The crispy skin of the pig is just so good. And then the inside roasted meat, our traditional, you know, centerpiece. As you see here. And then last but not least, did you see there was one other on another slide. I wanted to show you a picture of an old rustic home in the Philippines. It's called a Nipa Hut, and a lot of these homes were built on stilts. A lot of water in the Philippines, so stilts. And you know, grass, bamboo huts, that's what they were on. So that's back then. That's
it's something because, you know, we lived in the Philippines for several months and we lived with my grandma and we lived in one of those houses.
You did?
We did live in one of those houses, and the floor was either bamboo or some type of a stick you could see right through. And we had livestock that lived underneath the house. You know, pigs and so on and so forth. Yeah. And my father's being nice. He was in the Air Force and he was like, he didn't want to stay on base or what have you. My mother's like, well, no, we're staying, you know, we're staying with my mom. And there was no running water. You know, there was a garden hose and we had to take baths on and stuff. There was a community bathroom, just a little hut that was out, you know. So yeah, no, we lived in the thick of it. We lived in the thick of it. When I lived in Guam during the early 70s, that was during the Vietnam War. We lived in Guam waiting to get on the Air Force Base. And we lived in a community, a cul-de-sac of Filipino houses. And it was kind of like, we lived in a Quonset hut that was actually renovated, old military installation. And they actually raised the pigs. And they usually always had 20 pigs that they were raising. And we'd have lechon like once a month, every Friday. And we'd actually kill the pig, drain the pig, cut the neck, drain the pig, pull through it and roast it, and sing Engelbert Humperdinck, to the middle of the night with beer. But also tradition. But those are the kind of stories. And so when I look at this food, the pancit, so on and so forth, this is stuff that we grew up in. And I remember being in the Philippines as a spoiled American, and they had made some type of French fries or something for me, and I wanted ketchup. And they said we didn't have any ketchup. And so I screamed at the top of my lungs. And I woke up the whole neighborhood, and I was like, why is there any ketchup? And I remember I was like 5 or 6 and screaming. And my aunt ran all over the neighborhood looking for ketchup. She came back. She goes, all we have is, they gave me banana sauce, which is red.
Oh,
and
yes.
I put it on, then I tasted it. I was like, this is not ketchup. And then I realized at 6 years old, they didn't have ketchup. And it hit me, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not, I'm on the Air Force Base anymore. I'm not in Nebraska or California anymore. And I said, wow. And it just hit me. And I was like, wow, they don't have this. Tina, shut up. I was 6, And so when I come back and I see the foods now, we celebrate Philippine Heritage Month. We have all the foods, the pancit, the lechon, all the different longanisa, all the stuff that we have. It's a blessing that we have it here and we can celebrate. And even the ingredients from the Philippines made, the ingredients that you could only get in the Philippines, we're able to import it here, and we're able to make those same dishes. It's a blessing.
Yes, absolutely. And when you talk about maids, the houses, you can probably buy with, our paycheck. You can probably buy one paycheck, probably buy a couple of those homes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, very affordable, I should say. And then, talking about spoiled kids, we had a situation where we had a maid. My mom had a cook. She had a chauffeur. She had a house cleaner. She had a laundry person, and she had one for everything. She didn't know what to do when she came to this country, really.
Wow.
Yeah, especially take care of kids, because there was a nanny for every kid, and you can afford that in the Philippines. Now my friends are thinking, maybe I'm going to retire in the Philippines.
Maybe I'm going to retire.
Get a lot of help, good food,
Yeah. No, that's true. I just remember when we got here, my mother, she said she almost passed out when she went to her grocery store for the first time to see all that food sitting on the shelf. She almost passed out, But I remember my mother, canned foods. We lived in Nebraska. She sold apparel. She sold clothing. She learned how to bake and decorate cakes. She owned a janitorial business. Wow. She did everything she could when she came to America to make a lot of money. And when she left here on this earth, she had 7 houses and apartment buildings. And she was very successful with what she had. But when we were growing up, it was rough. It was rough. But the stuff that she did in the community, she had the lumpia cells in the church. She had the luau that she did in the church. But the contributions I just saw my mother made as a Filipina, to her community is just, it's kind of a sample of what our community has done overall throughout the United States. Everywhere we go, we seem to plant ourselves and be successful and make a difference.
And it is all about the community, the family unit. You move into a spot and you'll invite everyone around you, whether you're Filipino or not. That's how the Filipinos are, very generous, giving, inclusive. For parties, they'll invite the whole community if they could. And just come. There's always food, right, Tina? There's just always an abundance of food, regardless of how many people.
Yeah, and we always try to trick the Americans to eating balut. Then we...
Oh, no. Yeah, I won't even eat that.
Or the chocolate meat,
Yes.
but it's something as far as home ownership. That's one of the contributions. In the state of Washington, we weren't allowed to buy homes. They used to call us dogs. They used to call Filipinos dogs, and they wouldn't let us buy homes or go into certain establishments, so on and so forth. And it wasn't until I think the 50s a Filipino person married a Native American Indian, and it was in Eastern Washington, and they were able to buy a house, and that's how we snuck and got the first house, the first Filipino American in Washington State. That's why it's so important now. There are Filipinos that come here to America or have been in America, and they're still fighting for that American dream. They're still fighting to get a house. And there are still things within the financial institutions that are preventing them. Credit cards, the way that we save our money and we gift our money. Yeah. A lot of institutions don't allow it because it's the American way. But the Asian way, we give gifts, we share in house buying, we pay off all our debt. We have no debt. And a lot of times that prevents us from getting a house because we have no debt. A lot of times we will take our money and put it into a savings deposit box or underneath a mattress, because in the Philippines, banks will shut down and you'll never get your money. So those same attributes in the Philippines that are stellar attributes here in the United States do not calculate into getting a mortgage. So that's why it's important, if you are in the Philippine community, to reach out to somebody like Violeta or myself, because there are struggles that you still have to overcome normally and legally in the United States, where we understand and we will fight like crazy to get you over those barriers. Whereas an American would say, hey, you don't show any money, you don't show any cash, you don't use any debt, I'm sorry, go down the street. But we will stop.
Just my parting words, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, 20 Filipinos can live there. Thank you.
Right. Right. Okay.
Multi-generational, everything. Yes. Okay.
Exactly.
There you have it. This is our show for today. And thank you for joining us. Happy Philippine Heritage Month to all our lovely Filipinos out there. And we'll see you next time, next Tuesday, 2:30. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thanks, Daniel.
You've been listening to Real Estate and Money with your hosts, Violeta, Strash, and Tina Lombard. For more information, call 206-717-4490. That's 206-717-4490. Go to the Rainier Avenue Radio.world website to find the Real Estate and Money schedule, or tune in to our live show every Tuesday afternoon from 2:30 to 3. We will help you find your dream home.